My youth pastor called me out and said, "Gabriel, you're a lukewarm Christian. Either choose to live for the world or live for God." And I fully pursued the things of this world. And it was one night when I was in college. I was having too much fun. I woke up the next morning in the hospital realizing there has to be more to life than just this. And so for 1 year I decided, you know what, God, I'm gonna pursue you. In that year, God completely changed my life. God opened up my eyes to show me how there's areas of the world where people don't have access to the gospel. There's no Bible for them to purchase, no Bible written in their language. There's no church for them to go to, and they can't go to anyone who knows anything about Jesus. I was set on going to unreached people groups, and I was walking towards that. But then someone came to me and he said, "You know what, Gabriel, you can go and you can do that, but what if before you go somewhere else and you mobilize and bring people and say, as I'm going, how about you just follow me?" I was really drawn to the Center for Mission Mobilization because their vision and their goal was to mobilize not just the Western church body, but the global church getting involved in God's Great Commission. Kenya has a huge influence on the rest of Africa. Kenya is the most Christian country in the world. 47 to 49% of the population here claims to be followers of Christ. It's so near to the unreached population, not only of the world, but of Africa specifically. So there's a bunch of believers here in Kenya who are passionate about Jesus. The Lord has placed 7 people in my life that I'm pouring into, I'm giving my heart to, I'm giving my life to, in hopes to see them go and multiply themselves to mobilize the Kenyan church. And 2 of those guys are Patrick and Marcus.
I have learned so much just from hanging out with Gabe. I just thought salvation, you just have to be righteous, do good things, think that you finally go to heaven. He just brought in a different perspective. Like, salvation is not for yourself. There are people out there who are not as privileged as we are. And it is our responsibility to take the gospel to those people.
Explore is just a 7-lesson Bible study that talks about God's heart for the nations. It opens up our eyes to unreached people groups. And then it shares with us, takes us through lessons on how we can live a life in such a way that takes the gospel to those who have not yet heard the gospel.
What I used to believe is that to spread the gospel, I'd have to be like a pastor. But see, the Explore study teaches you in different ways. You can go, you can part with your money, you can send, you can mobilize, you can welcome people, you can pray. And that is why I'm so eager and enthusiastic to share the Explore study with my friends in college.
It has very practical ways for you to live out. After reading every session, every lesson, it has a practical way for you to live out that thing. And it has been like a guideline to us to practice that.
So we were doing the lesson on sending. We decided to do something practical. So we gave Gabriel an assignment to find a cross-cultural missionary in Kenya whom we can be parting with some of our lunch money, or the day we meet for the Explore study, we fast, and then that money, we put it in a jar, and then we support one missionary.
I told my friends back in the States about this, and one of my friends said, "That is so encouraging. Anything they raise, I'll match." Through their faithful giving, God has taken what they have and blessed it. And now we're able to support a Kenyan missionary at $60 a month through this group of 14 students. And so it's really cool to hear stories of how Patrick and Marcus are mobilizing their friends to pray for the unreached and financially support Kenyan missionaries so that they can share the gospel with those who have not heard the gospel. In the United States, if I wanted to go to the unreached, I have to buy a plane ticket, cross an ocean, get across all these barriers and obstacles, whether it's language, whether it's looking different, traditions. Kenya, they don't have those barriers and borders and hindrances we face as Americans. They share common language and cultures and traditions with those who do not have the gospel. They look like those who do not have the gospel. They can relate better with those who do not have the gospel. So it just makes sense that we're getting the African church, the Kenyan church, to share the gospel with their African neighbors, their Kenyan neighbors who do not have the gospel. So I've been in Kenya for 1 year. I made a 3-year commitment, and I still have that heart, that passion, that desire to move to the Middle East and plant churches. But as I'm looking forward to that, I'm trying to see how can I partner with my Kenyan brothers and sisters to make that happen. I don't want to go by myself, but I want to go with Patrick, with Marcus, with some of the other believers in my life. My passion and my heart for Africa and Kenya specifically is deep. I cannot imagine living anywhere else right now.